You've got to shoot this bit, Margaret. You've got to shoot it.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Whiteout Ski Podcast. This week we're kicking off something super exciting. It's a 4-part mini-series, Skiing 101, in association with Crystal Ski Holidays. It's essentially everything you need to know about getting started in skiing.
Yeah, it's an exciting week, isn't it, Rob? What about that? Like 4 mini episodes breaking down everything you need to know before you even think about hitting the slopes.
Quite a long time since we're at that stage, but I know I've seen many beginners coming through over the years, Dom, and been very proud to help quite a few of them out as well.
Well, today's episode will cover understanding the needs of the people going on a trip, thinking about kids and adults, how much money you want to spend, resort options, travel options, the essential packing list, and what else you can do before you go skiing on your holiday, what else you can do at home to guarantee success of that great ski holiday.
Yeah, preparation is important, right? In episode 2, we're going to hone in on the resort choices as well. According to everyone's needs, I get asked all the time, where should I go skiing? It depends on quite a lot of different factors. What is a great ski holiday? What does it look like to you? What's going on with the après scene, the food scene? We'll also look at more budget busting and better value resorts as well, you know, because everyone's got a different budget. And we'll definitely explore all the different accommodation choices that are available to skiers.
Yeah, that's it. But for now, this episode will be an introductory focus on what to consider for your first ski holiday.
That's right. And if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, don't worry. We're here to help guide you through it in association with our trusted partner, Crystal. They've been in the business for over 40 years and they've taken thousands of people on their first ski holidays and obviously subsequent ski holidays after that as well. What these guys don't know about a ski holiday just isn't worth knowing, right?
You're right.
They can wrap everything up into one easy ski package, right? So all the hard work and thinking gets taken care of by them, which is really handy, especially when you're going on your first ski trip. All you need to focus on is the skiing and maybe a bit of après-ski as well. By the end of this mini-series, you'll feel confident and prepared for the slopes, knowing exactly what to expect from your first ski holiday.
Big promises, Rob. Big promises. That is good stuff. So let's get started. What to consider for your first ski holiday. So here, we're specifically thinking about understanding the needs of your travel party. When you're trying to keep everyone happy, it's crucial to take a moment to think about who's in your group. You might be bringing along kids, or maybe older adults, or people with different needs or abilities. The last thing you want is someone to feel left out or miserable, especially when you're all there to have probably the best holiday you've ever had. Certainly from our perspective, I think we all agree we'd give up every kind of holiday to go skiing.
Yeah, true. First up, kids, right? If you've got really young kids, i.e. under 5, you need to plan for that. A lot of people do take under 5-year-olds on ski holidays. We're not just talking about sort of chucking them in a ski suit and hoping for the best. I tried that. It's not advisable. We're talking about childcare, ski schools that cater for really young kids and proper sort of learning zones. Don't be afraid of taking younger kids under 5 on a ski holiday. They will love playing in the snow. They might not actually get to ski fully, but that's fine. They'll be looked after. For those kids in the 5 to 12 age range, that's more. Now you're thinking ski schools, a dedicated children's ski areas, ski schools especially for kids. You know, basically they just have fun 24/7, right? Kids on the snow, they love it. Some resorts offer après-ski activities like sledging, snow parks, family activities, not just on skis but on the snow as well after the skiing's done. So we'll delve into this further on, but at the moment we're just trying to give you things to think about before you start planning.
Yeah, absolutely. If you've got adults in your group, they might be there for just the scenery. They may not actually want to ski. So don't forget to factor in fitness levels and mobility of people. Not everyone's up for throwing themselves down the hill. So you might want to consider more chocolate box resorts, great scenery and somewhere they can hang out, even watch the kids or you progressing on the nursery slopes or the flat zone. Something I did when our children were really young, we took along grandparents and we went to Val d'Isère, as it goes, and the grandparents were able to sit on the front de neige there and watch us skiing on the flat zones with the kids as they learnt. And then when the kids got tired, they were able to look after them. That was our chosen route. It's just a really nice thinking about where you're going to be and how easy it is for someone else to be observing while you're on those sort of progressor slopes.
Right. And it's also about where you stay and considering things you might want to do in the evenings. Right? Some people want to hang out as a family, maybe stay together in one place. Other people might want to go and dine out, or maybe even leave the kids in the kids club and dine out as adults. But that's a choice that you can make on a ski holiday. You can look at all those options and decide how you want to do that. Some people do want to go out and some people don't. What's important is to start planning that early on so you know what you're going to get when you arrive.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you're talking to Crystal, if you're mentioning those different people in the group, they will help guide you through that process. You don't need to be doing all the thinking. They will take a lot of that thinking away from you. The other thing to think about is budget. Think about travel, accommodation, lift passes, equipment hire, lessons, food, drink, that sort of stuff. So you need to think about the budget side. Is it one of those trips where you're not really worried about what it costs as long as everyone's happy, or are you trying to fit in within a reasonable budget? And Crystal, sponsor this series, are super keen to encourage beginners to get skiing, and they can offer flights, transfers, accommodation to take the entire hassle out of that whole thinking process so that you don't have to be piecing it all together yourself. In fact, it's all done by somebody else. So it's a very easy process. They can organise that whole thing for you. And they have great resources on their website as well, which is they have their slope starter program where they do a starter week for beginner skiers and snowboarders. They take them skiing for their very first time and hold their hand the whole way, all in one package. But it's exactly the same as if you're planning for your own group, your own family. So yeah, great way to start skiing for sure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, budget's an interesting one. You have different ski resorts at different levels. You've got those more higher end resorts, accommodation, which is great because you have a choice. Bigger resorts might have more expensive lift passes. Smaller ones are less expensive. And then you have different styles of resorts. You've got those kind of, chocolate boxy postcard kind of places. People love that. Or you have more modern purpose-built resorts. There's a whole world of choice out there in terms of budget. We'll delve further into this in episode 2.
Yep. Here's a couple of great ways that you can save a bit of money on your first trip. Booking early means you get the best choice, and we all know that choice means you can balance and satisfy the needs of everybody in the party. But if you do leave it to the last minute, you might end up with a discount, but you might end up compromising on at least one aspect of your holiday, which might not be a great thing.
Yeah.
The other way is to avoid school holidays. These will naturally be lower cost, but if you are tied to school holidays, thinking about things like driving or going by train can be a good money saver. And that can all be organised by Crystal as well. So can be an overall lower cost than flying. Crystal can organise it whichever way you choose to travel. And we'll talk about the travel options a little bit later.
Yeah, it's a really good point, Dom. People shouldn't leave booking a skiing holiday to the last minute. I mean, if you suddenly want to go on a skiing holiday at the last minute and it comes up and you can get a good deal, then brilliant, go for it. If you're planning a ski holiday, especially your first one, don't leave it to the last minute or you just won't get the choice.
Then we think about choosing the right resort. We cover this in a lot more detail in episode 2, but many people like to be forearmed and knowledgeable about this before they make that call. So resorts like Plagne in France or Zell in Austria are fantastic for kids. So Plagne in France, top ski resort known for its excellent ski schools, beginner-friendly zones, gentle runs, make it perfect for families and kids learning to ski. Crystal Childcare, located in Plagne, offers activities for little ones aged 6 months up to 8 years while parents enjoy the slopes. Beyond skiing, you can try ice skating, visit an igloo village, or explore the ice grotto on the glacier. So the resort consists of several purpose-built villages with easy mountain access and offers many self-catering apartments, ideal for families seeking mealtime flexibility.
Yeah, it's a great resort for learning to ski at all levels. If you look at somewhere like Zell in Austria, it's a lively lakeside town. You've got this amazing mix of skiing and activities as well. It's a great area for beginners. You've got one of Austria's largest ski schools there as well. So, it's a fantastic place to learn to ski. A lot of beginners do go to Zell actually. And then, of course, they go back and back again and again. Once you've found your feet, you've got fun runs like, I'm going to try and pronounce this, Dom, Schmidlodin's Dragon Park. Families love meeting the dragon mascot there. Beyond skiing, there's tons of other things to do. You've got alpine roller coasting, tobogganing, horse-drawn sleigh rides. It is a very charming town, and you've got loads of different types of accommodation there. Typically, in Austria, you get those family-friendly half-board style hotels, which are lovely to stay in. So it is a big contrast. If you look at Plagne and somewhere like Zell, very, very different kind of ski resorts. but both of them offer an amazing place to learn to ski.
That's it. I mean, these places are ideal. You can drop the little ones off at daycare and ski knowing they're having a better time making snow angels and having their best life, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially that sort of 5 to 12 age range. You know, there are tons of ski schools, and they've got all these dedicated children's areas now as well. It's so different, actually, today. It's so much better organised. I mean, ski school for kids, you know, they just love it. Some resorts offer après-skiing activities as well, like sledging and snow parks.
So you can enjoy that as a family as well. It's not something for them to go and do on their own. After the end of the day, you can go off sledging, go to the snow parks and do that all together as a family.
Yeah, I think ski holidays are very geared up for the whole family. I know personally, I've been skiing for quite a long time, and the best times I've ever had on the slopes has been skiing around with my daughter, and I can honestly say that. It's a brilliant family holiday.
I totally agree, Rob.
Yeah, it really does. So much fun skiing with the kids. I'm going to look at somewhere completely different now. I'm going to look at Ruka in Finland. Right, this is kind of
nice.
Like proper winter wonderland ski resort. You know, you've got those amazing log cabins, this incredible sort of Arctic scenery. Don't let me put you off with that. It's very pretty. It's very beautiful. It's just 25 minutes from the airport as well. So really short transfer time. You've got the largest beginners area in Finland in Ruka. You know, these really nice family-friendly slopes. You've got stuff like the fun Rosa and Rudolph family park. Who wouldn't want to go there, right? Complete with magic carpets and obstacles, all that sort of stuff that is great for kids. And then when you need to take a break, you've got these little nice cozy huts with open fires, all of that sort of stuff. Away from the skiing, you know, Ruka's got all these amazing winter activities. They really do that well over there, like reindeer safaris, snowmobiling, all that exciting stuff. And if you go over Christmas, you can go to Santa's secret cottage as well. It's a very nice thing to combine with a ski holiday.
For parents or adult skiers, maybe you've got some beginners who aren't as athletic, who are wondering how they will manage to even bend down to get their boots on. But common misconception is that you have to be super fit to ski. Spoiler alert, you definitely don't have to be a fitness fanatic at all.
No.
And then you've got the people that are just great at everything. They're the people that we all hate, but we all know that they're going to be skiing a black run by the end of the second day.
A lot of people see these images of skiers. Maybe they've watched Ski Sunday and see these people hurtling down the mountain at 70 miles an hour and they just go, oh my goodness, that's not for me. Skiing is not like that for most people. You know, you can ski at 5 miles an hour on a very, very, very nice, gentle, wide slope. You don't have to be an athlete to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you learn to ski and go skiing for the first time, you do want to pick a resort with lots of gentle slopes. Most ski resorts set themselves up to cater for beginners. Normally green slopes are the easiest ones, and most ski resorts do have these kind of quiet beginner zones as well. There's also plenty of other runs around the resort, blues and reds, where you can progress to as well.
Yeah, exactly. And again, don't feel like you need to know all this, because when you go to your crystal person and speak to them about your first holiday, they're going to recommend the places. So you don't have to go off and start researching.
That's true.
Every resort and which piece they've got. They are going to have these recommendations. And we are going to go into more detail about the resorts in episode 2. But Alpe d'Huez, for example, offers a great mix of skiing and après-ski. It is one of France's oldest resorts with over 250 kilometres of ski runs. It's got loads of skiing, stunning high-altitude skiing, south-facing slopes, so it's nice and sunny, which is great when you're early day skiing. Perfect for skiers of every level. The resort is known for its sunny days and variety of activities like ice caves, an alpine roller coaster with virtual reality features. So it's just got everything going on. And it's great for beginner skiers. Accommodation options range from self-catered apartments to hotels. It's, of course, got the Crystal childcare for family-friendly stays. Lively après scene if you want to go out and have a few drinks after. You can go to the Folie Douce that everybody talks about, which is a big sort of party-friendly place. So yeah, lots of options there in Alpe d'Huez.
Yeah, you know, Alpe d'Huez is a great resort to learn to ski. I worked in Alpe d'Huez for a while, and the beginners area and that whole lower part of the mountain is such a nice spot, south facing and all that kind of stuff. It's lovely. Then you know, why not look at Andorra? Soldeu, for example, is very nice family friendly resort. It's linked to a huge area called Gran Villares, 210 kilometers of slopes. You get on the gondola in Soldeu and it takes you directly up the mountain to the ski school and nursery slopes higher up on the mountain, which is quite nice. And then you've got these sort of options to progress to these nice, very sort of tree-lined green and blue runs that are good for beginners or first-week skiers. Or the next door village to Soldeu is El Tater. Then it gets a little bit more technical. You can progress and ski to the next village along. You've got lots of really good hotel accommodation in Soldeu. The standard of hotels there is very, very good, with swimming pools and kids clubs, all that sort of stuff. But it's a really kind of compact size village as well. Everything's close, including the gondola. You're pretty much walking out of your hotel into the gondola. Very convenient.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So we delve into choosing the right resort in episode 2. Let's now think about travel options. Because Crystal do offer a full range. Essentially, you can fly, you can drive, or you can get the train. All bring their own pros and cons. We've probably done them all, Rob, many times. We've done a quick summary of these because Crystal do offer all of them. So what about flying, Rob?
Yeah, flying is by far the most popular way to travel to a ski resort. We can see that in the data, and we just know that most people do fly. The pros are it's very convenient, it's very quick. There's lots of direct flights, and Crystal fly from multiple regional airports across the UK, which really does make it very convenient wherever you live. And also, luggage, once your bags are checked in, you don't need to lug them around again until you get to the hotel. It's a very convenient way. I mean, I suppose the cons, you do have a few extra costs, maybe like airport parking and then, eating out the airport and that sort of thing. So I suppose, do the pros outweigh the cons? Yes, especially for your first ski holiday. You want to get out onto the slopes. You don't want too much hassle.
Exactly. And then thinking about the train, it's becoming ever more popular and also offered as another form of transport. In terms of pros there, it's comfortable, spacious seating. You don't get those whole security checks like you do when you're going through the airport. And obviously you can move around, which is really nice. You get to see great scenery as you're passing through these fabulous countries. You see amazing landscapes during that journey. And it's just a very relaxed way to travel. But some of the cons, you've got the need for additional transport. So when you get to the other end in terms of buses and taxis to transfer from the train station to the resort. But again, if you're traveling with Crystal, that will all be taken care of for you. You have got a bit of lugging around on your luggage because you've got to get on the train and there's might be a train switch when you get to Paris or something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously it is a little slower than comparing to flying, but it's got that sort of more eco-consciousness about it. And consequently, you've got that very nice, relaxed, play a card game, sitting on a train and soaking up that scenery. It's actually a really pleasant way of getting to a ski resort.
It is a nice way to travel to the Alps. I mean, it is definitely a bit more faffy, that's for sure. But, it's a nice adventure. It's a nice experience. The other way people travel to the Alps is to drive. There's a lot of pros to that. Obviously, it's flexible. You can travel at your own pace, stop when you need to, explore other areas if you want. You can extend your holiday. You can obviously drive directly to the ski resort without any need for transfers. You can throw as much as you like. Obviously there's limitations. You can chuck things in the back, and it is cost effective, especially if you're a family or a group. When you look at the overall cost of a group or a family traveling by vehicle, it is.
I'm a big fan of driving down. We've driven down a lot, and carrying that extra luggage is always handy. I do like the fact that once it's packed in the car, the next time I touch it is when I get to the resort and get to my hotel. It's just another option, what people prefer. In terms of the cons of driving, definitely a longer driving time. You are setting aside a full day to drive there and back at least. You've got to think about snow conditions, weather conditions, preparing your car. You might need snow tyres or certainly snow chains and snow socks. You've got the risk of driving in those conditions. You need to be comfortable with that. Getting tired, long hours behind the wheel. So you want to make sure that you're sharing driving. And think about your return journey. If you've had a week skiing, you're getting back in the car and doing that return journey. But also parking when you get to the resort. Not all resorts have amazing parking conditions, so it's a case of making sure that you know where you're going to park when you get there. Certainly done it many times. I still do it many times, 2 or 3 times a season. None of those things are insurmountable, but you just need to be aware of them when you're choosing your travel options. So what else, Rob?
Okay, so you've got to the resort. What's next? You want to start thinking about what else you want to do when you're there. There's loads of other things to do other than skiing. Remember that. It's not just about skiing. There might be non-skiers in the group, people that want to experience other things. There's loads of things to do apart from skiing. We've got a few ideas for that, haven't we, Dom? Why don't you take some of those away?
Absolutely. So first up, when you arrive, you've got access to the Crystal Ski Explorer app and your in-resort rep, and they'll help you organise any other activities you might want to do, because it's not just all about the skiing. There's plenty of other things you can do. So first up, something like snowshoeing. Really great way to explore those sort of snowy forests and enjoy the scenery without the intensity of skiing. So you're just clipping on like a big fat sort of...
It's a tennis racket, yeah.
Like a tennis racket.
Like a paddle racket.
It is like a paddle racket. Really nice way to experience the snowy fields and forests. Really nice way to get around. Sledging and tobogganing, we all know about that. It's fun for all ages. Some of the funniest times I've had is without doubt sledging in a resort, and the snake glitch that they do where they attach these sledges to each other.
Oh, yeah.
I can remember hearing grown men screaming on that. So that's a lot of fun as well. Ice skating, not my forte. My wife will tell you that. Many resorts have indoor or outdoor rinks. They have hockey matches, that sort of stuff. So that's a lot of fun in the evening. If you're into ice skating, most resorts have them. And it's a great fun thing to do in the evening before or after dinner. Definitely great.
I'm just going to throw in, other than the ice skating, some resorts also have curling rinks as well. And a bit of curling is great fun to do. It's a lot of fun. Of course, many ski resorts, most if not all ski resorts now, have spa and wellness facilities. It's a massive thing. You know, you can unwind with that massage, you get in the sauna, you can have a hot tub after a day on the mountain. Most hotels would have those facilities as well, especially 4-star hotels. But on the other side of things, jump on a snowmobile. Why not? Get a bit of an adrenaline rush.
They've even got electric ones now, so you don't get the noise, which is great. But the snowmobiling is super, super fun if you're into that sort of more adrenaline-filled stuff.
I do love a snowmobile. I mean, just revving that thing up. Or the electric ones, even better, you know, just flying up the mountain at high speed. Don't go too fast down the mountain, that's all I advise. Up the mountain's a little bit easier. And of course, après-ski. That big word that everybody knows. Even people that don't ski know what après-ski is, right? Yeah. But après-ski can mean a lot of different things for different people. Let's just say après drinks, bit of music, could be live music, DJs, there's always something going on. You know, local specialities and sort of those cozy mountain bars as well. If you don't want action and dancing on tables, there's plenty of different types of après-ski for people that want either craziness or calmness, I would say.
Even just listening to this, Rob, if I'd never been skiing before, I'd want to go skiing after this. So more to do other than skiing. Winter hiking, explore marked hiking trails with superb views and snowy landscapes, visiting ice caves, or going up in the gondola as a foot passenger just to take in the fabulous scenery. Don't forget, you can just put your trainers on, buy a day lift ticket that's pedestrian only, and just go up there and take photos, experience it, have lunch up there and come back down again in those resorts where they've got big viewing platforms. It's just fantastic.
Lovely.
Or if you're into your food, mega culinary experiences. So you can indulge in formal sort of gourmet dining. You can have fabulous fondue on the mountain, local delicacies in resorts. You know, feeding in the resorts is a big part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's lots more to enjoy than just skiing. Whether you want to relax or try something new, ski resorts really do have something. They've catered for everybody, haven't they?
They do cater for everyone now. Obviously, some of the more traditional resorts might have more traditional local food, but you can find everything there in most ski resorts. And they are much better at catering to dietary needs as well. They're international destinations.
Absolutely.
Quite a list of things you can do in a ski resort away from skiing, and maybe people don't realise that has grown a lot over the years. If you go back years when we started skiing, it probably was mostly about skiing, but now there's just so much choice.
Light's gone. I'm going to change these lenses, people.
Yeah.
But let's now really get stuck in and think about the essential packing.
Yeah, absolutely. Packing for a ski trip doesn't have to feel like you're trying to fit your entire closet into a carry-on.
Yeah, you're probably staring at your suitcase and thinking, do I really need 17 pairs of ski socks? No, you really don't. We're going to help you avoid overpacking. I'm probably the worst culprit for it. But anyway, and underpacking, you don't want to miss things you need on that kit list. We're going to help you get to the slopes without making those rookie errors.
So let's start with the basics. Clothing first. You need a solid base layer. Directly next to your skin. You want something that wicks away sweat and keeps you warm, like merino wool or synthetic fabrics. Think about how warm you normally are at home. Are you someone that's constantly hot at home and walks around in shorts and a t-shirt? In which case you don't want thick base layers. But if you're someone that's constantly cold, you might want to think about the really nice warm base layers. Don't rely on a cotton t-shirt. They would be your enemy. Once they get wet, you will sweat, and it's really not good for you. Once you get cold, you'll get really cold. So definitely avoid just taking a basic t-shirt. Look at base layers. You can pick them up at very reasonable prices.
Yeah.
You can pay anything from 20 or 30 quid per top and base layer, but you can spend 150 quid on a top and 150 quid on a base layer. The more you spend, the better it'll be, but it doesn't mean that the cheaper ones won't do their job. Think about your own body temperature and your own needs to keep you warm on that very first layer of clothing.
It's really good advice. Mid layers are important as well. Think about a fleece, for example. A lot of people own a fleece. You could wear a down mid layer as well. It depends on how cold it is outside and how you feel the cold. There's a bit of a myth out there. People often say, oh, I don't like the cold. Honestly, if you're prepared, you won't feel cold. It might be cold outside and you're wrapped up. You've got hats on, helmets on, gloves on, all these clothing on. You're not going to be freezing cold.
Right, and you don't want to be too hot or too cold on the slopes. So for your outer layer, also known as your ski jacket and your salopettes, make sure they're waterproof and breathable. You get warm on the slopes at first when you're learning, but you want to stay dry and warm. So breathable is important.
Yeah, that outer layer is really important. But don't forget ski socks. We talked about them before. They need to be proper ski socks. Even if you have one pair of ski socks, it's better than bringing like multiple pairs of normal socks to wear in your ski boots all week. I would recommend if you're going skiing for a week, have a minimum of 2 pairs of ski socks. Invest as much money as you can in those ski socks. Don't wear cotton. Merino wool's really good, but there's lots of good synthetic ski socks out there as well. Generally, ski socks are slightly thicker than a normal sock. They don't have to be massively thick. Ski socks are, just about the right kind of thickness, if you like. So just buy a ski sock, basically.
So I think we've made our point on cotton there. Nobody's going to be wearing a cotton t-shirt or poor quality socks. So now on something crucial is gloves or mittens. If you're wondering what's better, gloves or mittens, it is mittens. Mittens are warmer because your fingers are all cuddled up together, like snug as a bug in a rug in your mittens that keep each other warm. So gloves, on the other hand, they're good for mobility, but mittens are best for warmth. And of course, make sure they're waterproof and insulated. We don't want to be dealing with frozen fingers. So definitely get yourself a decent pair of mittens.
Yeah, I agree. The other thing it's really nice to have, and it's comfortable, and I would say an essential, is have some sort of neck warmer. You can put it up around your head as well on those colder days. It can keep your neck really warm, and that makes a big difference.
You can get neck gaiters that are super thin. You might think that it's not going to keep you warm, but that extra layer around your neck and over your chin if you're getting chilly on a chairlift is a really nice additional thing. It's really nice and easy to slip into a ski jacket pocket. And if you do get chilly, it's very easy to pull on. So the other thing is helmets. They're a must for beginners, and really we think they're a must for everybody. They are a legal requirement in some resorts for up to 16 years old in some countries. So that's definitely worth checking out. Krista will guide you on that. It's great for everybody to be wearing a helmet. They're laid keeping your head warm as well, let alone the protection that they're going to offer. You can book it as part of your rental package with your skis, boots, poles, and everything else organised for you. Or you could purchase your own helmet if you didn't like the thought of putting your head into a helmet that's been worn by many other people for as little as 30 or 40 quid. And obviously, they can go up to many hundreds, depending on how keen you are to spend some cash. But they all have to reach minimum safety standards, so they are all going to do a job of some sort.
Yeah, totally agree, Dom. I mean, there's no reason not to wear a helmet. And if you're a beginner, it's just a sensible thing to do. And you'll see when you go on the slopes now, the vast majority of people will wear helmets, so you will not feel out of place with a helmet on. It's really important to say that.
Yeah, definitely. As you say about goggles there, a pair with anti-fog is quite handy, UV protection to stop that glare off the snow.
Yeah.
The lens, just make sure you're covered for all weather, whether it's bright daylight and really sunny or one of those more dull days. That's definitely a good call, Rob. All right, let's talk about boots and skis. If you're new to skiing, definitely rent your gear. I mean, especially skis and boots. No need to shell out the cash for your own gear if you're just starting out. And it can all be arranged by Crystal. All they're going to ask you is, what's your weight and what's your height? And the skis and boots are going to be sorted for you.
Yeah, rent the skis and boots on your first skiing holiday, and they'll give you poles as well. Don't forget about the ski pass. You need a ski pass when you go skiing. It gives you access to the ski lifts. I would pre-purchase that if you can. It'll save you time. It'll often save you money as well. And of course, Crystal can organise all of that for you as part of your holiday booking as well. But it is a slightly important aspect of your ski holiday to have access to the ski lifts. Trust me, it's your golden ticket to the mountain, if you want to look at it like that. Don't just chuck it in your pocket with your change. Make sure it's really easily accessible. You're not fumbling around in the middle of the lift line for it. Most ski jackets have a specific pocket on the sleeve. It's normally the left sleeve. You slot that lift pass into that little pocket at the end of the sleeve, quite close to your glove or your hand. And what that does in most ski resorts is electronically let you through the gate into the ski lift.
Another thing you might want is a bit of sun protection, something for your lips, something for your skin, because it can get hot up there. When you go high up, you're getting closer to the sun all the time, and you've got the glare off the snow as well, so it's well worth having a little bit of sun protection.
Another thing that can be useful to carry, and you can choose to do this or not, is maybe a small backpack. It doesn't have to be big, but you can have water, snacks in there, you can have your sun cream in there, maybe even an extra layer that you could throw in. You know, you should stay hydrated and fueled up when you're skiing. Little snacks through the day and plenty of water is a really, really good idea.
Yeah. Think about your travel insurance. Just make sure you're covered for skiing. You have your GHIC card, which is your health insurance card. If your resort has a hot tub or a pool, don't forget your swimwear. Trust me, after a long down the slope, sitting in that hot tub is a pretty nice thing to do. Maybe a portable charger. It's not a lifesaver for your phone, because often in the colder weather, your phone loses battery quicker. Having that portable charger is handy to keep your phone going.
Yeah, definitely. So I'd say that the key thing here with the clothing side is layer up. You know, skiing is about feeling comfortable, and it's absolutely possible to do that with layering. You can kind of adjust things based on how you're feeling, you know, warmer, take something off, etc. You know, those moisture wicking base layers are really important, an insulating mid layer, and then a waterproof and breathable outer layer. I mean, that is sort of the magic formula of skiing, if you like.
Yeah, spot on, Rob. With the right gear, you're going to be warm, dry, ready to tackle whatever the mountain throws at you, and you're going to have a good time. So go forth, pack wisely, get ready for your best ski trip. In fact, get ready for the best holiday you've had in your life.
So, Dom, let's finally look at what else you can do before your holiday to guarantee success.
I remember my first holiday because it was probably not as long ago as yours, Rob. You started skiing before I did. Skiing isn't just about strapping on skis and hoping for the best. You might want to put in a little prep before you go to make absolutely certain you have a great first trip. You might want to consider a few indoor ski lessons or dry slope lessons, which can be an absolute game changer. They give you the chance to learn the basics before you even get to the resort. It's a great chance to meet crystal representatives before you go skiing as well, because they have crystal hubs around the country where you can meet somebody in person. They're located at Chill Factory in Manchester, Tamworth Snow Dome and Snow Zone in Milton Keynes. It's a great option to sit down with them and just say, what's it going to be like? Should I pack this? Are these socks going to be all right? It's a great chance to meet a rep face to face. I did a learn skiing a day before my first trip, and it was an absolute game changer. At least I turned up. First of all, didn't look a complete herbert, but secondly, I was able to at least do a snowplow when I arrived, get around on some nursery slopes, and even get my boots on easily in the morning. So yeah, very worthwhile.
Dom, it makes such a difference. I worked as a ski instructor for 10 years. I taught lots of beginners. And it's fine. If you turn up without ever seeing a ski in your life, you'll be okay. It's not a problem. The ski instructor will deal with that and teach you accordingly. But give yourself that little extra start, because it will give you confidence. You get comfortable with all the equipment. You get to practice before you go. And you get a feel, normally you get a feel for even turning and stopping as well, all in this controlled environment. And it becomes less intimidating for you. It just gives you a bit of confidence.
Definite great way to boost your confidence and make your time on the real snow when you get there even smoother. It gets you that muscle memory going before you'll be gliding down the slopes looking like you've been doing it your whole life. Ski suddenly behind you, camera crew coming up to you and asking you how long you've been skiing for. So yeah, wow, it's a good idea.
You should think about some fitness preparation. You don't need to be an athlete, but a little extra strength, flexibility and balance won't do you any harm. Skiers come in all shapes and sizes, right? And levels of fitness. So whatever your fitness level is, I mean, don't let it put you off, but for your own sake, make sure you feel as good as you can. That's the advice I would give.
It's good advice. Skiers do come in all shapes and sizes. I remember when I started, I thought it was going to be full of very fit athletic people.
Right.
It's not necessarily the case. As you get better at skiing, you probably have to be less fit. In the early days, I'll try to, because you're using muscles you haven't used before. It's a great fun holiday. That's it for this week. That's our first in our 4-part series of the Ski 101 in association with Crystal Ski Holidays. Quite a lot of fun revisiting the basics, Rob. It's interesting, isn't it? Going back and thinking, and the resources are so much better today than they were 5, 10 or 20 years ago. The likes of someone like Crystal who are focused on taking people skiing for their first holiday and creating resources like the app that you can use when you arrive in resort, or the resort hubs around the country where you can speak to a Crystal rep inside one of the ski domes. It really does tie the whole thing together, doesn't it?
I totally agree with that, Dom.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope today's episodes helped you feel more confident on your journey to the slopes. Next time, we'll be diving into choosing the right ski resort and accommodation. We'll guide you through picking a ski resort that fits your group's needs, whether you're looking for family-friendly options, vibrant après-ski scenes, or pocket-friendly spots. We'll also break down different accommodation choices like hotels, self-catering, chalets, so you can pick the best fit for your trip. We've got tips for seasoned skiers on their favourite resorts for beginners as well. So until then, keep practicing those turns, get down to your local snow dome ready for your next ski trip, and we'll see you on the Whiteout podcast in a couple of weeks when we're talking about choosing the right resort and the right accommodation in association with Crystal Ski Holidays. Rob, until next time.
Thanks.
Cheers, Rob.
See
Well
you.
done.
No, talkie-walkie.
I'm pretty sure it's called a walkie-talkie, mate.